second. What's going on? This is the Dice Tower Daily Chat. I'm the host, Roy, and with me today is Bryan Drake.
What is up, everybody? How's everyone doing? Hope everybody's having a good time in all of the gaming that you're getting done, because I know I am.
Hype! So, Bryan Drake does a ton of different stuff. He does lots of reviews on the channel. You have even hosted a board game breakfast. What? And you do magic stuff for your full-time job, right?
I do, yeah. It just occurred to me. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm such a novice at this, man. I've got it playing in the background because I'm a moron. Hold on. I don't even know how to turn it off. Hold on. Okay, I'll just do this. Anyway, yeah, no, I do. I'm an illusionist for a living. That's what I
can still hear you.
Where is this happening? Where is this happening at? What? It's not. Am I 75 years old? What's going on here? No offense. This is ridiculous. I'm just gonna kill this, guys. I'm normally not this dumb. There we go.
Bryan Drake, the height of professionalism.
Man, I was just trying to pop out a chat and I ended up popping out the whole video. But what did you ask me? I'm sorry, Roy. What did you ask me?
I was talking about you do reviews on the channel. You've hosted Board Game Breakfast. You also do magic for your job.
Yes. Carla, my wife and I, we are stage illusionists. We travel all for the most of the time. We travel all across the country doing crazy illusion shows and some of that mentalism, all sorts of things like that. But currently, we've switched to we're doing online digital illusion shows, which has been kind of a fun challenge. But kind of like I talked about in Board Game Breakfast, is we're going to keep doing that moving forward as we're in this new normal. But the new normal can be a good thing, so that's good. Nice.
I'm super loud as always. I start yelling at the beginning of all of these. I'm just like, hey, what's going on? Let's do this thing. Every time. I turn it down. Let me know, chat, if I'm too loud. But yeah, there's that.
There we go.
I try.
I might even do a trick for people if we can get it to work. I might do some card tricks or something like that on here.
That's awesome. Well, people, make sure to leave us some questions down below. But yeah, is there anything awesome that you've reviewed recently, Bryan?
Something that I'm gonna review this week, if that's cool, to kind of talk a little bit about, if that's all right, we are big fans of Teotihuacan. You know that one, Teotihuacan, and it took me a long time to finally own a copy of Tzolk'in, but man, we have been playing the two of those back to back. I know it's more Euro style, but man, it's so good. Both of those games, we've been playing them back to back a little bit to just kind of see. But we also played. Man, we played what did we just review? I just reviewed that Fallout Shelter game. That was fun.
Oh, I was telling you that was good.
Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that. Like, it might be that new intro kind of worker placement that I'm always trying to find. Like we talk about, I think you and I talked about this last time on Battle Royale. I probably talked about it like this with my internet not working last time. But
and now you've like upped your internet game like hardcore.
Crystal clear, man. The idea that there was no mass market equivalent to worker placement, so I'm always trying to find like that one to get people into. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the interesting thing about that Fallout Shelter game is like it's extremely streamlined and simple. You know, it's not like a heavy, complex, crazy game. I actually played it with my kids, and my kids are 5 and 7, so that's pretty insane. And they actually understood what was going on, so it was pretty fun.
It's good for that though. Like, I mean, it's easy, but it's also you feel good. You don't feel like it's too light, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
So Josh says, oh, Bryan, I know you're a big comic book nerd.
Yes.
He just called you a nerd. Oh my goodness. Can you talk about your favorite DC storylines?
I like that not only am I a comic book nerd. Sorry, go ahead.
And what are your favorite independent stories? So
nice.
What about DC stuff?
All right. I like that you didn't even throw in Marvel because I'm a hardcore DC guy. That's great. I love pretty much anything Jeff Johns did from 2005 until about, well, I guess basically anything he writes I'll still read. But man, like Sinestro Corps War in about 2007, 2008, or whatever it was, through Blackest Night is some of the best DC Comics stuff there is. And Scott Snyder's Metal, well, his whole Batman run was just phenomenal. If you, a lot of the library apps have that, or if you want to get on, DC, it's so good, man. Just such good. Capullo's art and stuff is fantastic. Currently, I actually went back and started reading, this is a Marvel one actually, but what's the dude's name who, Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four run, which was nice. Good. Oh man, it's good. And independent stories. I love. I can't remember if it's actually independent or not, but there's a couple of Lovecraft comics that they've gone back and done. I think. What's the dude who does Hellboy? You know that dude's name? He did art on one, and he did one where he comes to Gotham, but he also did art on some other ones that's been really good as well. Nice. This is fun. Lots of good comics out there.
One thing I think is interesting is like we're both actually fans of HeroClix. Because did you say like started board gaming through HeroClix? That's it.
I didn't know about the hobby at all until I was sitting on like comicbook.com or Newsarama, and they had like a scrolling thing, and I saw a Sinestro like little statue. I was like, what is that?
Oh, that was like back in the day, like the first Sinestro they came out with, like the big one.
And so I just fell down this hole of like, I've got to own all of these little tiny figures.
It's crazy. I started playing that game back when it first came out because I was working at Walden Books at the time, which are now all shut down in the mall.
That's one over your head, isn't it? The Sentinel there?
Oh, yeah. So this is one of the original Sentinels. I got like HeroClix all over the place over here.
Yeah.
So, but this character like I think this is the first bigger scale character, and its dial is terrible. It's so bad. Not even worth playing. But
it's a 6 attack, 2
it
movement.
300 points, but like its attack like drops off so dramatically. That's one of the things they fixed in the game, like going on later, is like at the beginning when the game first came out, you get hit once and your character was basically just garbage, But later on in the game, they made it so you could like last a lot longer. And they came out with more Sentinels that are way better than this one. So.
Oh yeah. Mignola, that's the one. Mike Mignola. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Did you ever do any like tournament play in HeroClix or anything? Or
yeah, I especially when they did the a couple different of the organized plays. Not the Book of the Skulls one. That was what's the Fear Itself Marvel one. But I did the one after that, which it was also a Green Lantern event. Larfleeze is amazing. Just how he pops his characters out. But the what was it called? It was called War. Was it? I guess War of the Light, I think is what that thing was called. And the game, like they did a fantastic job for, what do you call it when you organize play prizes and stuff like that, prize participation. You showed up, you paid for the tournament, you bought your 2 boosters, but you got like an actual, it was a Green Lantern that was this size, and every month you came, you got a new piece that would go in it, and it was a legit Green Lantern ring that would sit on top that you could wear. It was actually part of it though. So if you use the ring and you use the lantern, like your pieces just got overpowered pretty quick. But they did a good job at that kind of stuff.
I think it's crazy. Like I know in some ways that game is like there's tons of people that love it out there. But I also feel like in the board game community or in like the tabletop community as a whole, I feel like the game is underrated because I feel like it's so easy to just like if you play it casually, it's so fun to just throw some clicks out on the table and duke it out. I mean, maybe it's the learning curve of learning all the powers, but I have those all memorized at this point. So.
Exactly. Man, I'll sidestep everywhere. But I think maybe people see the paper mat too, and they go, nah, but the paper mat's at least detailed, but those figures are so good. I'm looking. I usually have them. They're up there right now, so I can't even read. There's a Kingdom Come Flash figure. I'm actually going to get it and show it off just because it's so good. Hold on.
Oh yeah, I remember the Kingdom Come stuff.
Sorry, I had to. Probably showed off my shorts. I'm not even wearing jeans. Look at that. This is true broadcasting right here. But this Kingdom Come Flash figure, it's amazing.
Yeah, I remember that. Is that the old school Kingdom Come, or did they come out with a new one?
This is probably from 2014. 2015 or so. It's not that old.
Some of the original Kingdom Come stuff when they first started coming out with it. I had the Shazam or whatever. I think it was a promo, but that Shazam was like awesome. I take them to tournaments. Like hypersonic speed was just broken at the beginning of the game.
It up and through the Flash set, it was so broken because this guy I think starts at a 14, and he had a power where every time you hit somebody with hypersonic, you got a speed token which increased your speed, and you could pull it to do all kinds of effects. So he was I think a 17 hypersonic speed, which is Stupid.
You could run all the way across the board and then run back.
It's thematic, but man, it was dumb.
We used to have these gigantic battle royale games. Speaking of battle royale games of HeroClix, where I'd have like me and like 6 other friends. We'd have like weird numbers of groups of people. We'd all just draft our team and play HeroClix against each other. Last man standing wins, you know?
It's so much fun, though.
And there's so much table talk and diplomacy. It's like, Superman's over there. We have to take out Superman or no one's going to be able to get through his defense. And Superman rounds the corner and just like wrecks Captain America and makes him a smear on the ground. And you're just like, oh, we need to stop Superman. So we're trying to figure out how to get the outwit guys close to him to get rid of his high. I mean, it was like teamwork against the strong characters, but then this strong character's dead. Now who's the strongest person? We gotta take that guy out, and you gotta like figure out how to talk your opponents out of jumping you.
It's like just chopping off heads, just total regicide the whole game.
Exactly. It was a blast, and I think casual HeroClix is like pretty up there for me as far as like games to play.
So much fun. I haven't played a game in a couple of years, like a full blown game. We'd usually just be messing around, which is more fun.
We should, if we ever get to go to one of these Dice Tower cons again, we should like bring a couple games and like play casually with some random people. That would be fun.
I think so. I think we should do that because it's so easy to just spot it on the table and be like, I want to play that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll have to talk people through, like, this power, that power. But I always did that anyway. Like, with my friends who weren't super big on the game, I'd be like, oh, that's this. Oh, that's this. They'd be like, oh, what's brown on defense? Oh, that's impervious, you know?
He's got impervious.
You know? So.
Yeah, it becomes its own language, you know what I'm saying? You just read it as impervious, not...
I think that's part of the reason why the game doesn't have as much of a mass appeal is because you have to learn that superpower chart, and for some people, they're just like, what?
I'll give him a big plug though on this because I just did the review. You asked me something I reviewed recently. I did the newest starter sets, and they've got a Fantastic Four starter set. It actually comes with 6 figures.
Oh, I watched your video of that.
Man, those pieces are great, but the scenarios are cool. Like they haven't done that in a long, long time, but they're just fun the way they arc off, and like you start with Ben Grimm and you fight just these goons and stuff like that. So it's really, they're doing a good job at trying to make it more gamer friendly as opposed to miniatures hobbyist friendly, if that makes sense. That's not a knock against hobbyists or miniatures, but you know what I mean.
Okay, here you go, Brian. The main question of all: who has the craziest hair, Roy or Bryan? Let us know in the chat.
Yeah, that's right. That's the question. There it is. Although Roy told me how he did his hair, and I was blown away. Like, I don't know if you want to reveal your secret or not, but you.
That I actually cut my own hair.
You do your own hair, yeah, and that blows me away, man. Because
I just use one of those like feathering razors. Like I told Z, and Z's like, "What? That's crazy! You cut." Like I had to show him a picture of the thing, because he wouldn't believe me until I.
That's what Z uses too, though.
Yeah, but he just goes more hardcore with it. just straight razor across the.
I'm gonna feather all of this.
Exactly. Maybe on the beard.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Here we go. What is the difference between an illusionist and a magician? You always seem to make a distinction when people say you do magic.
Yeah, wow, it's funny that people notice that too. But it's a marketing thing for us because our biggest market is churches and stuff like that. But honestly, there's an actual real reason that's traditional. If around the room, some of you have seen in the videos, there's posters of Keller and Thurston and Houdini and guys like that. An illusionist classically is someone who did human-sized props. So someone who does a sawing in half illusion of sawing a lady in half or whatever, or like a metamorphosis or things that was an illusionist because those were illusions. But a magician was someone who would do classical sleight of hand, coins, cards, things like that. That's kind of the traditional difference. And a mentalist is someone who does like prediction tricks and mind reading, and it actually even borders on the kind of like people who don't even want you to know that what they're doing is it's kind of fake or things like that. So a lot of distinctions and fun stuff there.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Yeah, and you've done things at several of the Dice Tower shows before. So
yeah,
from big things to small things.
Try to make them board gamey related. I even cut Jason out of a picture one time, just like
you cut Jason in half.
We need to try that, honestly.
I'm sure that would take a lot to make happen, but who knows?
Come on, Jason.
Jason would be down. Yeah. Like
he'd
be
do
like,
it.
I get to be a part of the magic trick. He would be all over it.
all over it.
Let's see. Um,
Snap to a Slim Jim. See, it's funny because when I see Slim Jim, I think the Macho Man Randy Savage, but there was that dude after the Macho Man.
Josh says, Roy, you need to start watching some new anime since you have Crunchyroll. Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia are good. Do you watch any anime at all, Bryan?
I used to watch, obviously classics, Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that when I was younger, but man,
that's where the hair came from, right?
That's it. I tried to be a Super Saiyan when I was in 6th grade. But the thing was,
too many YouTube videos of kids trying to go Super Saiyan.
Usually it involves issues. You'll either snap a synapse or a blood vessel in your eye. Oh man, what's the My Hero Academia? I hear is really good. I actually want to try getting into it. I may have to get Crunchyroll. Is it on Crunchyroll?
I think so. I think that's why he mentioned it.
Yeah.
But I last night I was rewatching some One Punch Man. Why am I rewatching stuff I've already seen? I don't know. Just comforting.
You've already hit the end of everything new, and you're just like, I got to start over.
No, not even close. I actually don't watch a whole lot of different things. Right. And I also don't watch that much TV stuff. The problem with the anime on Crunchyroll is that it's all subs, and I like watching subs. But you have to be focused when watching subs,
You can't watch in the background.
Right, you can't watch in the background, and it can't be like a casual thing. You have to be paying attention to what's going on. And oh my goodness, I was trying to watch some Boruto, which is like the new Naruto stuff, and there were like filler episodes, and I'm like, I'm not gonna read subtitles on filler episodes. I just need to download. I know people like talk online like, this is a filler episode, you don't need to watch it, this is important. But the problem is, like, they'll be like, the 10 minutes of the end of this one is really important,
Right.
That sort of thing.
That's like the classic episode of Dragon Ball Z where Bulma loses the Dragon Balls in the lake on the planet Namek, and you're like, why is this episode? Why does this exist? Did y'all need a break? Is that what's going on here? Like, what is happening right now?
This is a weird question. Joss asks, what's your favorite game to teach, but not to play? So what's just your favorite game to teach?
Yeah, that's a fun question, actually, because I've taught quite a few games. Like, usually if I'm at an event, I'll end up teaching more. I'll tell you what. No, because I still love playing it, so it's weird. I'm trying to think. Okay, that's a very specific question.
I mean, there's plenty of games that are my favorite. There's some games I really like to teach, but I also enjoy playing those games as well. I don't think he's saying that you don't enjoy to play, but it's not necessarily your favorite game of all time.
I'll give you a game that I do love to teach. I do enjoy playing it, so I technically am cheating a little bit on the question, but I actually really love to teach this one more than anything. It's Twilight Imperium. I like to teach because people who don't want to take the time to learn that experience, I want them to have that experience. And so I taught a couple people at Dice Tower East last year, and it was rewarding just to teach them, and every once in a while I'll be like, so who's trading for some resources over here, who's getting some trade goods, just checking in, and that was fun. So and Western Legends, I love Western Legends too much to play. Hang on.
I need to play more Western Legends.
Sticking with Twilight Imperium.
I have a bunch that I like to teach, but there's certain like go-to ones. Like if I don't have a whole lot of time, like I'll do like Unmatched and Century and stuff like that. Like the shorter games. Like if it's 2 players, it's Unmatched. If it's a little bit more, but then it's like Century, like Crystal Golem. But then also if I see people have Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea and a rule book open, like I run over, I'm like, no, that is not how you play this game.
Put that away.
Let me tell you how to play the game. And I've done that before several times. I've done like just the info dump and teach, and then people have been able to just jump right into the game.
That's it.
Which is cool. Nice. Okay. Question, Bryan, would you consider consolidating your painting videos into one, like Roy did with his 3D printing? Nice job, Roy, by the way.
I need to do that. I do need to do that. And I've missed a couple weeks on Board Game Breakfast doing the painting videos because I did the hosting last week, and I'm bad about scheduling with it too. But I've got some new stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to be painting my Zulkin gears. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thinking about doing a video on that. But I do need to consolidate because 2 minutes is hard to break down bites of,
for sure,
like painting and stuff like that.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't get to see every single episode. I think I got to 20 of printed pieces or whatever, and I'm just like, I was just like, hey Tom, can I? Now that these have all been done, and now that they're all like they've been there for a while, there's people that keep asking me specific questions about 3D printing and stuff. It's always stuff that's like, I did that. I talked about that.
Right.
I talked about that. It's like, I want this all together. So I just like, I cut off the part where I introduce it every time.
Yeah.
Because I'll normally
Just
be like, hey, this is printed pieces and blah, blah, blah. I just cut that part off and then just made it where it was just like shorter and it was just all one thing. But that requires you to have all those files.
Sure, you got to still have them around and
Which,
not have to go and pull them from breakfast and cut out everything else.
Yeah, that is not what I did. I had all of the printed
That's
pieces.
smart.
And people are always asking me to do more printed pieces, and I need to.
Do you do a resin print, or is it?
I do the plastic or whatever.
Plastic, yeah.
Yeah, just the ABS or whatever I forgot what plastics are.
I can't remember what it's actually called. It's just
but,
it's a miracle how far that's come.
But yeah, the resin stuff it's way more. You have to do like a respirator and like you have to be careful with it, and it's like
you touch it, right? It's toxic to the skin too, right?
Yeah, you're not supposed to get it on you really. So
sounds like a terrible idea in practice.
You can make better prints because it literally like uses a laser to like fuse it, and you can make really nice stuff. And I've seen really cool stuff out of it. But it's just like so fiddly. Like a 3D printer as itself is kind of fiddly. Like
anyway,
I really want the technology to get to the point where somebody can just buy a 3D printer, set it up, plug it in, put the plastic in, or put the little plastic line in, like fishing line almost, and just press go. But it's so hobby, and like sometimes things will break down, and sometimes you have to level the bed and do this and do that.
Sure.
And I really wish it was more user friendly for everybody.
And like you have to on some of the ones, like you have to put support pieces and then trim those out later, right? Like if it's a weighted thing.
The settings, you have to make sure your settings are good, and sometimes you need a raft to hold the stuff up, and you have to have supports, and you have to cut all the supports off and stuff like that. Which that's probably not really going to change. Like the supports are always kind of going to be needed just the way it prints. But I built a new printer for the Dice Tower. Tom got a Prusa, which is the same one that Randy has. And oh my goodness, it came in tiny little pieces. Like the printer I have didn't come in nearly as many pieces. I did a whole video of it, but it took me...
I didn't realize that they were like that. It took me
5+ hours to build this thing.
That's a pain.
Average. Like I watched other people's videos. That's average of how long it takes people to build it.
Do you think that's like, we want you to appreciate this hobby?
Oh yeah, it very much is like, this is a hobby and you built this thing from nuts and bolts, and it was things like you got to push this nut into this plastic thing, and then put this screwdriver through here. I mean, everything that could have been like assembled in like the factory. No. It's all pieces,
Take this, learn something.
And I'm just like, I told Tom and the guys, I'm like, this feels like it's gatekeeping 3D printing.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm not really a fan of gatekeeping 3D printing. I want it to be mass appeal. I want it to be easy access. I want more people to be 3D printing so we can have more people excited about it. People will make more STL files, which are the files you print out. And there'll be more content for everybody to print out. There's tons and tons of stuff for people to make, but I want it to just be more accessible for people.
Sure.
But who knows? Maybe someday.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it gets there. Cool. Let's see. I need another question. Oh, awesome. Our Family Plays Games says, hello, everybody. This is Mick from Our Family Plays Games. I'd fist bump Bryan like, Bryan, yeah. Our Family Plays Games. Awesome. Thanks. It's awesome. I'm glad you're a part of Favorite Game Friday and doing stuff for breakfast now. That's awesome. Hey, Bryan, what's your favorite gateway game?
Favorite gateway game is probably, honestly, still Ticket to Ride. Man, I love it. Turn around for a second and see. Yeah, I mean, if we're talking traditional classic gateways, it's still probably Ticket to Ride for me. Now, if we're talking games that can now be considered gateways,
what do you use? Like, if you were going to have somebody that you were going to didn't really know much about board gaming, maybe they like video games, maybe they like other stuff, they just haven't played board games, what game would you use as a gateway?
If I'm going to do gauging the person depending on how I think they're going to like, Codenames is always Just One is my new go-to game for any you throw a stone, hit a person, it's like, hey, come play Just One, guaranteed they'll have a good time. If we're talking more who I can go, you're probably going to enjoy strategy a little bit more. I'm still going to go Ticket to Ride or even something like that. But something I was just thinking about a minute ago. The point salad. Point salad's a great card game for that. I love because people are familiar with kind of that kind of style. And now, honestly, this is probably people would probably not consider this a gateway, but man, Draftosaurus is phenomenal to get people to play it because you get to touch those little dinosaurs and put them out there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think my go-to, or especially like when I've been teaching people that are new to gaming at Cool Stuff back in the day when we used to go to Cool Stuff.
What's that?
I used to teach people Century a lot because it's just such an easy game to like get people to play. But yeah, Love Letter back in the day I used to always use as a gateway. I know Love Letter gets a bad rep. It gets a bad rep nowadays because so many people are just oversaturated to it.
Right.
But I always thought it was fun, and it's just such a simple game to play.
It's like Love Letter, the Love Letter edition. It's a Love Letter game about playing the game Love Letter. It's crazy. All of that should be a thing.
Gator Dave asks, Bryan, have you had a show/gig where something, or it seemed that everything went wrong?
There have been a couple of those. I think my wife, she's writing a book right now of the kind of our first 11, 12 years on the road. And there was a conference we did a couple years ago in Bradenton, Florida. And I had done the event before. And so the kids were already, the students, they were already kind of keyed up. They already kind of had some name recognition. They knew who I was and it was going to be fun. So they were already they were pumped and hyped. There's about 2,000 of them. I walk out there, do this intro thing I used to do with water. Set it to the side. I turned to say something, and man, I slipped. And I didn't just slip down. I slipped, boom, and landed flat on my back. And they laughed and clapped. It actually got over with the crowd, and I got up. And the whole time I was like, this feels really drafty now all of a sudden. And so afterwards I looked and I had a huge rip in my pants, and I had no clue, man. So as far as that, there's been that. There have been issues where, thankfully, though, like, trick-wise, nothing's ever gone. And that's the beautiful thing about Carla being the behind-the-scenes person. She really does pull the strings of the show. She makes all the tricks happen. So when something goes wrong, all I got to do is kind of give her a look or something. And she'll take care of it. If it's a prop or an issue here, we'll just transition elsewhere smoothly. But if it's a person, she'll come out and smile to the crowd, and then through her smiling teeth be like, stop messing around or I'm gonna kill you, sort of thing, She can get away with that. I can't. So
she'll do the assassin thing. They just disappear. You don't mess with you don't mess with the Bryan Drake show.
That's it.
There's lots of, he can make people disappear for real. It's real magic. He does it all through Carla. Carla's just like, whoosh,
that's it.
Disappears with them into the night.
She's a fixer. She's like Michael Clayton or whatever that show was, the other one.
Josh says, what do you do to recharge?
Yeah. It's a good question. I love going to the gym. That's unfortunately out right now, so I'm a little bit jazzed with that, trying to get all there. I like to do that. I'm extroverted. This doesn't make any. People don't believe it when I say this. I'm really extroverted when I'm in front of a large crowd. I love being in front of a large crowd or a group of people. But I'm really actually kind of terrible one-on-one conversations. Really nervous and stuff like that. So I like to be around, do game nights and groups and stuff like that. But I also like Tom of just totally being alone. So
yeah, I think there's like a personality type, which I think is sort of similar to like my personality type. Is like the performer or whatever, where you're good in front of people and you're good with groups of people, but then like you still need like alone time and time to reflect,
Sure, no, absolutely, and that is probably the most recharging thing is those times just to get away. We've got 2 little kids too, so a lot of that too. That's fun.
Yeah, for me, normally just chilling out, watching YouTube stuff or painting miniatures. Like
I love that.
Painting miniatures
is cathartic.
Actually really relaxing. Like I can just put like on a podcast and paint some miniatures and stuff like that and just hanging out,
I was going to ask you earlier when you were talking about not being able to watch with subs. I'll put shows on in the background and paint. You can't do that when you're with subtitles. It's like, wait, what? What?
Nice. Gator Dave's making fun of your 56K modem. I think Bryan was saying that his internet's super better now. So
yeah, it should be. I haven't seen any jumps, and I usually can see my own jumps
great right now. You just upgraded like super recently, right?
Yeah, like today I got everything installed. Roy asked me, he's like, "You want to do the daily chat?" I was like, click, click, call the media call people. Hey, can you turn this on now?
Oh, I didn't mean to make you.
No. I had already had it coming anyway, but it worked out. I was like, good, I'll plug it in. So it worked out.
Nick says, I'm puzzled over the orange card with the question mark on it behind Bryan.
Okay, how much time do we have? We got a few minutes?
Yeah, we're only halfway in, so.
All right. So how updated is the chat? If I ask the chat for something, how fast will it be for them to respond?
It's like 30 seconds, so.
Okay. All right. So I'll tell you what. We'll start now. I've got a deck of cards sitting right here. I'm going to give the first 4 things in chat dibs on this. And again, we're doing card tricks, so you have to trust me that if it goes off camera, it's not because I'm cheating. It's because I just don't have that big a frame. Star Wars playing cards, by the way. These are adorable. They look really great. So first 4 suggestions. That could be take 5 cards from the top, put them on the bottom, 4 cards from the bottom, put them on the top, shuffle the deck, cut the deck. Whatever it is, the first 4 suggestions, this is completely up to you. And in the meantime, Roy, while we're waiting on those, and you keep track for me, I've got 5 books right here, all different genres that I just randomly grabbed from the shelf right here. We have Lee Strobel, Case for Christ, J.R. Tolkien's The Children of Hurin, Hurin, probably I'm saying that wrong. Carter Beats the Devil, it's a book about magicians. You got Anna Green Gables, classic Walmart $3.94 sticker, and the complete Lovecraft compendium. So Roy, I'm gonna snap. I can't really snap my fingers right now, but I'm gonna snap my fingers, and when I do, I want you to say odds or evens.
Evens.
You're sure? You can change your mind. I don't want you to think I'm doing any kind of trickiness with you. I'm just giving you another chance. I was holding up 2 fingers. Don't want you to think I wanted you just to pick evens because I said that.
I wasn't looking at your fingers. I was looking at chat.
Okay, here we go. Stay or change. Evens or odds.
Evens.
Okay with that? Okay. So that's 2 and 4. You didn't pick Lovecraft. I'm really sad about that. So I'm going to say same thing. When I snap my fingers, I want you just to say right or left. I won't snap. I'll just say go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Left.
Just say right or left.
Left. Yes.
Left hand, yes. Fair as can be.
Yes.
All right, so here's the deal. We're going to put this here. This is Children of Hurin. Put it down to the side for a second. Now, have we got the cards?
Throw the deck of cards across the room and pick them up.
Okay, how about we just do that? Okay.
Cut the deck in half.
All right, we'll cut it.
7 cards from the top.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I think
dropping them on bottom.
I don't know how many people actually got the what you were asking them to do. So.
No, that's okay. That's good. So we've got 7 cards from the top. We got cut the deck in half. Somebody else give me a thing. We'll do a couple more here. It won't take that long.
Throw the book at the red cam really hard. See what sticks.
I like that. I think that's a great suggestion. I don't know that I'll be able to recover. My new internet won't mean a whole lot at all. We'll take the 2 hearts, and what do you want to do? Move it where?
2
Put
of
it here.
hearts.
Okay. So you're messing up the deck completely. And now, Roy, you give me a suggestion. Do you want to cut, shuffle? What do you want to do? You tell me. If I'm overstepping my bounds by shuffling, you can stop me.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So here's the deal. What I want you to do now, riffle shuffle. Okay, we'll do I'll tell you what, I'll do a Pharaoh because I can't do a riffle without losing the camera here. So Pharaoh, eat one of the cards. Random 5 cards put on onto the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So now, you happy with that? Or you want to do one more thing? You good with that?
No,
put bottom third on top. We can do that.
Just do like 37 things in the day.
Just all your stuff. We're going to stick it right here. Now look, here's the deal. These are going to I don't think I have a top pocket in these, so we're going to keep these in sight right here in front of us. Now you have selected a set of cards, and that has been there the whole time. It's in sight. Now Carla is not sneaking around behind me just like shifting stuff around as we do that. She's actually in the living room. But you selected 5 cards, yes? Or we're going to select 5 cards off of your stack here. So this is exactly how you have it stacked. Count with me here. Let's make sure we're good. Okay, so look. First card. What is that? 2? Just
yes.
keep track. It's 2, 4, 4, 5, 2. Now, ideally, we're not worried about the suit so much, but if there's that 2 hearts after all. If this works, if that says 2, 4, 4, 5, 2, you guys would have to flip out. Okay, I'm gonna take the headphones off for just a second and grab this.
Taking the headphones off is part of the trick. Now that Bryan can't hear me.
Inside of here is literally one thing. One thing and one thing only. It is, in fact, 24452. Boom. Okay, not really. I know what you're thinking. That is not 24452. But what if I told you that it was? You also remember you picked a book earlier. Out of those 5 books, you could have chosen any other book. I would say that these books are probably all about 244 pages at least. So let's look on page 244 of The Children of Húrin from J.R.R. Tolkien, posthumously published. On this page, you'll notice, I'm not going to show you too close yet, but there is a word that is highlighted. It's on page 244. Let's count down how many lines it is to this highlighted word. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth word, fifth line, second word. So that's 24452 is in fact the word. Can you read it?
Moment.
Moment, just like that. Boom, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for enduring me just enough to get a little creativity out. I need to get this.
Listen,
that's the hardest part of this.
You asked Bryan Drake for a trick. He delivers.
That's it, man. We're playing. We're not playing around here.
Oh, nice.
Hey, what were we talking about before that? I forgot.
Oh no, I just somebody asked about the thing in the background, and now the thing in the background has been taken care of.
Now it's Harry Potter Legos because we're collectors.
I went down to the bottom, so I skipped a ton of questions.
You sound like Tom back in the old days. Oh, questions jumped again.
Wait, mine don't jump, but I have to go back up. Sluggo asks, why are so many of the U.S. board game community, especially YouTubers, located in Florida?
Not this guy.
I'm about to say, listen, I relocated down to Florida for this job. So I am here. I am in Florida because...
Against your will?
The Dice Tower. No, not against my will.
I'm joking.
But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, the Dice Tower is down here, which is just the Dice Tower staff guys. We have contributors from all over the world, basically. So, I mean, it is not just in Florida for the people that are on the channel. I mean, we have people everywhere.
That might be my favorite part about Board Game Breakfast is just all of the different places around. And honestly, if you're just listening to Board Game Breakfast, that is one of the cool parts is you just literally hear the different accents. Now, sometimes that's just Dave Palooza doing impressions, but you do hear a lot of accents. That still might be one of my favorite things ever was when he had to do the multiple language game instruction, and Tom would tell him to change mid instruction or whatever.
Oh yeah, and he did that like live too, right?
Yeah.
Our Family Plays Games asks, since you are in Alabama, do you do a Mardi Gras in Mobile? What does that even mean?
So Mobile is the original home of Mardi Gras, even though New Orleans is kind of where it's known for, and it's actually a lot more family friendly here, as hard as that is to believe. But the weird thing is in Mobile they throw moon pies, which is actually from up your area originally, right? Moon pies. I know Marty and them are all obsessed with in North Carolina moon pies.
I think so. Yeah.
There's
a lot of those up there.
That's kind of. I mean, it happens. It's in January, February, and it just clogs up traffic like crazy. But yeah, if there's a fun parade schedule, sometimes we'll go down and get some good moon pies because I love a good moon pie.
TI4 appears to streamline the rules a bit, doesn't it?
A little bit. What do you think, Roy? Especially technology.
It's for sure. When I first played it, I said, this is like Twilight Imperium 3.5, basically. Because most everything, like the way the actions work is the same. Technology is streamlined. They made some stuff, that's the main thing. Some of the actions, they switched up a little bit. And they changed up the abilities, like the ship cards with the technologies go specifically on your board, which makes it a little bit simpler.
I do like that,
I can barely even remember the changes. They are extremely... similar.
The trade goods is the only other one I can think of that's a really big one.
Yeah, trade goods is huge because you have to be beside somebody else to trade goods.
Unless you're the turtles or the lions, then you can trade all over the place.
They have so much money, it's ridiculous.
I'm jealous. I'm sorry. I'm gonna not miss. Kabuki Kid says he saw Doug Henning on Broadway as a kid. Great magic show. I am so jealous of Kabuki Kid right now. Let me know, what show was it? Was it Merlin or was it the Magic Show or just in general? Just let me know. Sorry. I got Moon Pie and Mobile. Sorry. Sorry. I'm taking it away. Do your thing.
Is there a game you love, but you always lose at?
Yeah. Almost all of them, actually. I'm a terrible game player. Let me look up. Oh, Scythe. I am horrible at Scythe. Like, just absolutely terrible. I'll score a good 45, 50, 60 points, and then I'll be like, hey, I'm doing good. And everybody's like, oh, I got 80. What'd you get, 90, 95, 100? Another one that I'm good at, that I love, that I always lose, is Mansions of Madness, because it's just the way it plays.
Really?
Although we have won. We actually won the train one. Yeah, just do better. We have found a favorite character combo beyond anything, though, and it is Marie Lambeau and what's the card where you get to basically do a mind control on your own characters and give them a free action. Because if you have that power on her, she gets to do a free spell at the beginning of her turn, which essentially means that she can give anybody else a free action, which is phenomenal. So
that's awesome.
So she's good. But
my tip for Mansions of Madness is you can't do everything. Like you have to be very good at like deducing what's not important, you know?
Well, that's true.
Because there's so many things that like try to catch your eye. It's like, oh, do I open up this bookshelf? Oh, do I do this and that? You have to try to be like, what is the objective? Right. Let me go directly to the objective and try to do it as fast as possible. Because the longer you wait in that game, the worse it gets.
Well, and what's frustrating, there's probably nothing more frustrating than going, oh, this is probably important. And then someone else going, oh, this is definitely important. And like you both spend several turns trying to get it. And once you get it, you're like, oh, this is the same piece of information, just the two different ways you could get that information. And we didn't even realize that it was that. That's sometimes frustrating.
I love the negotiation of that game. Not negotiation, but the cooperation and talking things out and trying to solve a puzzle. There's nothing like the first time you play a scenario and everything's like new and fresh, you know? It's always fun. For me, a game that I always lose, I really enjoy Rising Sun. I love the monsters. I love the combat in Rising Sun. I have never won a single game of Rising Sun, and I played it a lot.
Have you won Blood Rage?
I've never lost a single game of Blood Rage. And I played Blood Rage way more than Rising Sun. But I've played Blood Rage like 25, 30 times. I don't know. I've played Blood Rage a lot. And I have not lost. I tied the game, and there's no tiebreaker in the rulebook. I tied it live on the Dice Tower. That was the closest I got to losing. And Sam, this video is hilarious. Sam and my co-host Rob were like, Roy and Rob should like arm wrestle it out. And I'm like, no, he's way stronger than me. That's not fair. I'm not arm wrestling for the win. He's like, it's Blood Rage. It makes sense. And Sam's like, I'll arm wrestle by proxy. I'm like, I don't agree to this. But then Rob and Sam arm wrestled, and Sam got wrecked, which in theory means I got wrecked because Sam
lost.
But I didn't agree to this, so it was a tie. We were both honorable Vikings. And
Eric Lang's probably like, this will never happen, so we don't even need to write one.
that is not good. Like, that seems insane to me. But yeah, the point swings in that game are normally huge. So the fact that we tied, and we were doing it live, so I was goofing around more than I should have been.
Sure.
So, there's that.
I do love Rising Sun, though. I think I've won one time, but man, I do love that game.
Yeah.
I think I like it better than Blood Rage, because Blood Rage I'm so bad at, because I like I say, I only play with people who really know the cards, and so drafting against people who know the game, you better learn it or you're going to lose. Whereas Rising Sun's a little bit more even keel in that.
I did a ton of cube drafting for Magic. With a bunch of my friends when we played Magic very heavily. And I feel like cube drafting the same cards a ton of times in this cube was like a 1-to-1 comparison with Blood Rage. The fact that I could like see the strategies and get them as they come along and then implement those strategies in the game afterwards. It feels very much like drafting in Magic, but you're always drafting from the same pool. So it's not like cracking packs and drafting. It's like drafting from a cube, sort of. So
and you know those strategies based on that game, essentially.
Yeah, you always have to pivot in the draft. Like during the draft is what you're setting up the entire game for. You know, that's everything that matters. And then you have to be like, okay, now how am I going to do this? I just love the combat in Rising Sun, though. But that game is very dependent on people wanting to wreck you. And in Blood Rage, people can try to wreck you, but it's a lot harder. In Rising Sun, if they want to wreck you, they can.
Yeah,
and
if they move in there and take it, it's theirs.
Yeah. So, And that happens. Oh, let's see. Josh says Roy is the traitor. I don't know where you get that idea.
Roy is infiltrating the dice tower to take over. Is what?
No. I'm just known for when I play like hidden roles games or
Always
social
that
deduction
guy.
games. I'm good at pretending to be good. So.
Right. I'm competent. They trust that my skills don't involve me trying to lie to them. I'm trying to help the team. Yeah, there you go.
You have to convince yourself that you're good and play you're good until, like, just like in Battlestar Galactica, it's like you hear the music, it clicks on, it's like, now is the time. Now is the time to wreck everything, you know. Oh,
I feel like you just laid out a scene where you're going to be a lawyer one day, just kind of a skeezy lawyer. Like, you have to believe it yourself, and then it's not a lie anymore.
Exactly. Yep. That's pretty much it. That is basically how you play these social deduction games.
True.
The thing is, I normally do pretty well if I play with my wife.
Yeah.
Never. It never goes good.
She knows it.
She immediately targets me and immediately asks me to my face, and I have a loving marriage and relationship.
Right.
I have to answer honestly. I'm just kind of like, no, and she can see through it every time.
Yeah.
I fool my entire game group. I fool all the dice tower. I fool all of our contributors. But my wife,
not
nope,
her.
not even once. Not even once.
That's awesome.
And then she's the traitor in the end. So
Yeah, she's like, no, I'm kidding. I knew it was you. That's like werewords. That happens when we play werewords a lot. She's like, I know it's you. And I'm like, no, I'm just stupid. I don't know the answer. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm not a traitor. I'm just an idiot.
So someone asks, Roy, are you looking forward to painting the Ankh minis? Oh man, I painted a bunch of the dragons from Rising Sun. I painted a bunch of the stuff from Blood Rage. I never get down to painting every single troop just because I get so bored painting the same thing over and over again. But I am really excited. There are some really cool miniatures. There's also, have you looked at the Kickstarter page at all for Ankh?
Yeah.
It was either yesterday or today. They released some hippo thing, and it looks weird and crazy. And I saved the picture and I sent it to Mike DeLisio, and I'm like, I'm canceling my pledge right now. Like, I don't want this
all 6 of
weird.
those.
I don't like this weird hippo thing. It is so strange. But I was making fun of it. But I love like the god that's like the alligator looking god. I don't know the names of each one. I'm sorry. Yes, I played with the original gods. I didn't play with the ones that are after that. I guess he has like water powers, like he can be in the water and stuff.
Yeah, there's special tiles that come out, I think, right?
Yeah, those minis looked that mini looks amazing with a giant alligator with a gaping maw. Like, I don't know, it just looks cool.
There's I don't remember. Jeff Johns did it sometime in his Shazam, or his back then his Captain Marvel run, where Black Adam had it might have been in 52, the thing called 52, where he befriended. I want to say his name was Sobek, but he ended up. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but there was an alligator who was his friend, and things happened and stuff. So it was fun. But that's what it reminds me of. I'm like, wow, this is great. It's Egyptian, and I'm pumped about the minis. Now, what I did for a buddy of mine, he had me paint his Blood Rage. I painted all his big figures, except for one, because I still owe him that. Kind of full detail. Mm-hmm. But he's like, hey, I want you to prime all the figures in a kind of almost a white, and then put a little chalky look to them, and then wash them in each color, so they look almost like they're made out of clay. So like a red clay. It's a neat look. He saw it somewhere. I didn't come up with it. He saw it somewhere, and he had me do it. But it turned out better than I thought it was going to.
Nice. That's awesome. I'm definitely gonna try to paint all the gods like when it comes in, but it'll be like 2 years before that happens anyway. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm excited about painting the gods up for sure, and some of the monsters.
I just saw the emojis there. The crocodile.
I don't even know what happened. Emojis. I need to scroll down. What's going on?
Gator Dave. He said, "Hippo wearing a crocodile skin. I don't approve of that."
It's not the hippo wearing the crocodile skin I was worried about. It was
it's that very bizarre one.
It's definitely a mammal.
Yeah, that's right.
This is family friendly dice tower.
Yeah, what is this, Kingdom Death? What are we doing here? No, I'm just kidding.
Uh, I saw one of the chats, someone suggesting Tom knows how to pronounce Ankh because he heard you say it a bajillion times. Is that true? Probably. No, I don't know. Ankh, Ankh, Ankh. There's Ankh token. The game, you have to say Ankh a million times when you play the game because it's like you've got these Ankh tokens and you're moving this and it's all about Ankh, 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 Ankh.
Those two words together are not the easiest to pronounce. Ankh tokens, like it comes out of the back of the throat too.
And I mean, that's what you use to like say, I own this pyramid, I own this obelisk, and it's also what you use to do all of your powers. But apparently you have to go all in if you want plastic Ankh tokens.
Yeah, divine they are, in fact.
I am too broke for that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, let's see. What are people talking about? Hey, Bryan, do you play Magic at all? Did you play Magic?
I've played, but not in a long time. So
what
it was
is your favorite color in Magic the Gathering?
That would suggest that I played enough to where I was strategic and strategery.
Let's see. Green is all about big creatures.
I'm gonna go with green actually, but and what's white?
White is like they have. I mean, it depends on the set, but like white will have more like life gaining type stuff and like soldiers and like big angels and things like that. It depends. It all depends on the set and the current world they're in and all sorts of different stuff. There's always different strategies, but it's always normally like buff your guys up, have all sorts of different stuff and flying and things. I like black, just because it's like kill spell, kill spell. I don't know. Black blue is my favorite combination. I'm not sure.
I was given a deck one time, and I want to say it was the reason I think it was like a white green or something like that. I could be wrong, but
yeah, it's like sounds like soldiery type deck sort of thing. Let's see. Oh, now everybody's talking about Ankh.
Ankh, yeah. I do like the one that says you sound like a goose if you say it a lot.
There you go. I just listened to Eric Lang say it, and so that's I think I'm saying it right. I don't know. If Eric Lang's saying it wrong, I mean, he named the game, so is he really saying it wrong?
Right, yeah, and that's kind of how I felt when I read the intro to Scythe. I was like, dang it, it's not Scythe, it's Scythe or whatever. He's like, you can say it either way. I was like, no, I need a definitive answer here, Jamie. I need to know if I'm wrong.
That's like when Zaya first came out, I watched the video at the beginning of the Kickstarter a ton of times, so I knew the way the designer was saying it. Yeah. And I've seen so many people call it Zia and all sorts of different stuff like that. Or Shia. It's like, no. The designer says it this way, so I think that's...
Y'all played that Shia Legends of a Drift System? I mean, that game right there, bud.
I set it up and was messing around with it with the kids. They're not ready for Zaya. But
yeah, of course, you know.
Look, kids, we tried a little bit. Not ready. But I was sitting there looking at it. I'm like, this doesn't scientifically make any sense, you know? Drift system. Like what? Abstract gravity. I mean, there's no way. These planets would totally hit each other. Yeah. This system is not stable, is all I'm saying. Okay. Let's see. Any more good questions? Everybody's just talking about hippos and stuff.
A lot of Ankh, hippos, and food.
Roy has to be blue. I mean, I do play black-blue, but honestly, if I'm playing like an EDH deck, I actually dislike blue. And the people that are always like, oh my goodness, I have the ultimate combo, and we're just trying to play Magic for fun, and we're like, listen, dude. There was actually a game where we were playing EDH, and this guy had this deck specifically designed to do just one combo where he'd go infinite and get infinite mana and do infinite damage and play infinite creatures and all this stuff. He put way more money into it than we had. We're just trying to have fun. Anyway, we were playing along, and we're like, oh man, he has islands. He's going to do something crazy. So we were messing around. But anyway, he pulls off his infinite combo. We're like, cool, you win. We're going to continue playing.
yeah, that was good, but we're going to continue enjoying ourselves now that you bought that victory.
Exactly. Who knows? Oh man, now people are talking about Magic.
Yeah,
here's a question.
A lot of Magic choices.
Oh, this is super weird. What is the weirdest thing, in your opinion, that you have eaten? We're talking about eating alligator before we actually started this thing.
I do. I have had alligator. It's weird because anytime you say something's weird, people go, "No, that's what I grew up eating. That's my favorite thing." So I mean, I grew up down here, eating like raw oysters and stuff like that. People eat that everywhere, but raw oysters and mullet roe and things like that. But and I love trying all sorts of cuisines from everywhere, and we have a fantastic Mexican restaurant in town that does great street tacos and stuff like that. And I got tongue, lingua. I'm probably saying that wrong. And I think it's tripa is how it's pronounced or said. And I was like, that sounds good. I know what it is. I think it's intestines, and they fry it nice and crispy and put it on a street taco. And I was like, I'm going to try it because I know it's good. But my brain couldn't get past it. Like it tasted amazing, but my brain was like, it's not working. Something's wrong. But the taste was great. So that's probably up there. I'm trying to think if there's any weird meat that I've had where I'm just like, I can't believe you have all the crazy jerkies, but then you're like, that's probably beef with like trace elements of kangaroo mixed in because they call it kangaroo jerky. I'm like, I doubt it.
I've had like squirrel stew or whatever before. Yeah, but that's just from being in North Carolina,
That's home, man. That's home cooking.
That is not an often thing in North Carolina. I'm just messing around.
No, not at all. What about it just fell out of my brain what I was thinking of. Snake. Have you ever had snake? I've never had snake.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I
wouldn't be opposed. I wouldn't be opposed to most things as long as they're actually edible. But I would try most things. I've had like octopus on sushi before and things like that. So, but that's pretty normal. I've never
had a sushi that I don't like. I love that kind of stuff. And when I say I know I'm from Mobile, Alabama here, and I'm not just talking about that deep fried sushi. I'm talking about the real stuff. You know what I'm saying? I love like the legit, traditional, even just what do they call it, sashimi and stuff like that. I love it all. Like it's just fantastic.
What's your favorite roll?
I go traditional. I usually just I say traditional. Bear in mind, again, we're from Mobile, Alabama, so when I say traditional, people are like, that's not traditional.
The tradition of sushi in Alabama.
Yeah, but I love just the spicy tuna and things like that. Simple. I just like the flavors. I like the rice. With the sushi rice with the rice wine vinegar, I guess, and sugar. I think what is it? Rice wine vinegar and sugar.
I like all sorts of stuff. I love like rainbow rolls and things like that.
Oh yeah.
I think my favorite is like unagi. With like the grilled eel and just the unagi sauce or whatever, eel sauce.
That's so good.
It's like that sweet sauce is just really good. So
I feel like people judge me though when I order something called like, give me the roll tide roll, like things that are, I'm like, it tastes so good no matter what.
I mean, it's definitely on my bucket list to someday like go to Japan and do like one of those traditional conveyor belt places. Like it would be fun. I mean, I can't afford to go to like super fancy, extremely expensive places, that are like the high end. Like this is the best sushi chef in the world. I'd love that, but it's not going to happen.
No, exactly.
But yeah, I'd love to support somebody who does that for a living. That's in a more low key place.
That is my favorite thing about traveling, though, is food just in different places. And the funniest thing was we went to England a couple of years ago for a magic conference, and when people come here, they get our fast food. Fast food American, you get burger and fries, things like that. I loved it because there's a fast food British thing over there, and it's all like meat pies and things like that. It's like traditional British food in the fast food form. I was like, this is so funny because that's not what daily cuisine is like, and so it cracked me up.
Yeah, that's always awesome. Bryan, do you use an airbrush for priming?
No, I don't. I want one. And this is one of the techniques that I stole from Sarastro, and I talked about it in the board game breakfast videos. You can still get, especially with big figures, you can still get away with kind of a nice zenithal highlights with spray cans. But I want a nice. Heck, it doesn't even have to be nice. I just want a functional airbrush. But because I really want to get some nice gradients and things like that easier than having to do it by hand.
You can definitely do a lot of good stuff with it. I really like. I have an airbrush and I like it.
Yeah.
And I have to have it. One of the main reasons I got it was because I have these color shift paints, and you have to have an airbrush for those color shift paints to work.
How does that work?
So they're from like Green Stuff World, which is like, I guess,
Uh-huh.
I think it's like a Irish or Spanish company, something like that. One of the companies in Europe. But it's basically, you have to prime it with like gloss black. So you prime the miniature with gloss black, and then you just do this color shift paint, and it'll shift from like purple to green. And I have one that's like from yellow to orange, and I have one that's from like blue to purple. And I've got a lot of videos. I should send you some of them, but I had a ton of them. They look really good. Like, you just hold them in different points of the light, and it changes the color.
It's like that candy coat they used to call candy coating on cars, right?
Yes.
Like okay, that makes sense.
It's basically the same thing, the color shift stuff, and you can buy that for miniatures. It doesn't work if you don't have an airbrush. Like, you have to airbrush it on. Wow. I like doing the airbrushing stuff. It's just like, if you're going to airbrush, you have to, like, it is a project, because they're not super easy to clean, and if you
That's what I'm worried about.
If you don't clean it right, then you're gonna mess up the airbrush. So it's like, when I'd airbrush, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna airbrush this thing and do all this stuff, but then it's like the whole process of like, all right, I'm done airbrushing. Now I gotta clean the thing out. Yeah. So majority of the time, I don't use mine that I have. So
because of the knowledge that you got to clean it up is the worst part.
Right, exactly. Because like, oh man, I'm just gonna spray paint this thing black with a spray paint can and then paint it. But if I'm ever like, okay, I want to do this cool effect, or have, like you said, like transitions, like one of the dragons I did, I had very much like from deep red to like orangish look on them, and you can like gradient it really good, and you cannot get the same kind of gradient with a brush, you know. No
matter what. I mean, no matter how many layers and feathering of edges you want, you're still not gonna. I mean, you can almost get it with wet blend, but you're talking about a 1 to 2, or at least a 1 to 2 to 3. But it's a harsh gradient where it's this gradients or grades. Is that a verb? Into this, and this grades into that, but it's clearly not a clear through line like you can get with that. I love that.
So the thing is, just if you're going to start airbrushing, just never stop, so that way you don't have to clean. You just keep on going. Just keep on going.
That's all you have to
do. What is the oldest game in your collection, Brian?
The oldest game. Oh my gosh, what is the oldest?
Like, what's the game you've had the longest in your collection?
Oh, the game I've had the longest. We bought Seven Wonders, actually. We bought Ticket to Ride, but Seven Wonders was our next purchase. We bought it like that. So it was Ticket to Ride, Seven, which kind of tells you the era of which we really broke in heavy, too. But I'm looking around. There's a game I have that's older, but we love it anyway, and I'm trying to think of what it is. It's kind of... My brain's not working right now as far as what game that is. But yeah, definitely... Steam is the oldest game, like physically oldest game in my collection is Steam by Martin Wallace, but those are the first two that we picked up.
Kabuki Kid asks, have you ever played a powered cube? This is back to Magic. I know you love Magic.
Okay, I was going to say, I think that's a Magic question because you talked about cubes.
So powered means that it has like the Power 9 in it. I actually played the one we had the Power 9 and stuff in there, and we had all sorts of different stuff. They were proxies. They were printed out paper, just slid into sleeves. Because we can't afford no Power 9. Right. Come on. Like, those cards are thousands of dollars. But it was so weird. It was like, it made the drafting like kind of lame. Because if you get one in your hand, you take it. No matter what. Right. There's no choice there. You just always take it. And so it kind of minimized choices. We ended up taking it out after playing with it a bunch. We played with it just for fun. But then it was always like, normally they're like moxes and things like that make you have mana faster. So it was like skip to turn 3 or whatever. So you just didn't.
Was it just a chase out of a set, or was it something they did, or what made it so expensive other than just demand? Like was the Black Lotus or whatever originally? But was it power or? So
there's 9 cards in Magic that are called the Power 9.
Okay.
And they're from like the original sets.
Right.
And they're normally moxes and like several blue cards. So there's Black Lotus is the most expensive one.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking. Yeah.
Which that card is literally like, it costs 0 to play. Yeah. And then you exhaust it, discard it, and get 3 mana. So like on turn 1, you can play something that costs 3, you know?
Yeah.
Which is such a huge advantage in the game.
Yeah. Then set you ahead so fast.
Then there's a mox in each color, which there's like 1 for green, 1 for blue, 1 for black, 1 for white. And they each are 0 cost, and you just exhaust them for a mana of that color. So those would basically be like, it allows you to basically get mana faster. And then all the blue stuff were like, 1 lets you take an extra turn, 1 lets you, I mean, they all do several different things.
Wow.
1 lets you draw a whole bunch of cards, but they're all for like really low costs. Like they're just overpowered. And so all those cards became extremely expensive. and I was actually watching an Antiques Roadshow thing. I don't know if it was staged or fake or not, but
Sure.
there was this lady who brought her husband's thing, and the guy had opened it up to a page where he just had the Power 9 there, and he was explaining to her like what these cards were, kind of like what I just did. Well,
Right.
but he actually explained Magic to her a little bit and was like,
Sure.
"This is why these cards are so expensive." And he told her the price of all of them, and she looked like she didn't believe him. Like it was insane. I was like,
paper.
I was like, listen, this dude's real nice for like appraising this honestly. Like, since you have no clue what he's talking about,
You're sitting
he
on
could
the
just be
gold
like,
mine here.
listen, I'll give you $100 for the whole thing.
Yeah,
literally,
look,
you
they're
could-
worth 50, but I'll give you 100.
You could buy a house for this page, you know. So it's kind of like, I don't know.
Somebody said they bought their first computer with a Mox card.
There's people that have put like down payments on their house. And
It's
stuff.
wild, man.
There's also a lot of lands that are like 2 colors that just automatically come into play from the revised set or something like that, and they're also really expensive. I don't know that I have actually ever seen any of those cards that I've just talked about in person.
So I saw one at a game store one time. It was locked away in a case on the wall or something like that. But who's to say if it was real? You know what I mean? Like it was one of those things where I could, if I wanted to, I could go touch the.
I mean, they're definitely around, and I mean, I have plenty of friends that have pictures of it. I think Travis Oates.
Was it Carol Baskin? That's my favorite question. Sorry, talking about the Antiques Roadshow. It was definitely Carol Baskin. That's who did it.
Oh my goodness! I had Heather on one of these, and there's one of the tiger with the meeple in its mouth that we have for our thing. We said that the meeple is Carol Baskin's husband.
Oh, that's amazing!
I made a little meme. I'll have to send it to you because it's hilarious. But yeah. What do I even do? What are we at? Oh my goodness, we're 6 minutes over. What?
We're running. Pat, maybe we're just running and having fun.
Awesome. I'm going to find one more awesome question.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I've gotten to the sushi talk. I'm always so far behind here. I'm just trying to go down the line and answer questions. Somebody come up with an amazing question that I can do for our last one. Oh no, now they're all talking about Magic again.
Yeah.
Brian's like, why are we talking about Magic? I don't even play. This is Kabuki Kid's
That's
fault.
not the right kind of Magic I know about. Yeah.
Oh, Kabuki Kid says she's also seen that Antiques Roadshow clip. And now Kabuki Kid's just agreeing with all the things I said.
Yeah.
It's basically okay.
Correction, you can play 4 powered cards because of the land too. Like, dang, that's even worse.
Oh, let's see. The power cards make it fun. Yeah, it makes it fun, but you don't really have any choices on what you're picking. Right. Brian's like, this is all going over my head.
No, because it reminds me of it reminds me of playing sealed in HeroClix a little bit. But nothing's that powerful. But the idea is there were certain things. If you get a piece in your sealed games, you're gonna play it no matter what, and this is what you're gonna do. And if I'm sitting across the table from someone who pulled that, I know I've lost that round completely.
People are probably like, "What in the world is Roy doing?"
I am.
Dean says, "Do you two have painted miniatures you can show us on screen?"
I've got one right up here. I can kind of show you. It's a little dull. Hang on.
I about to say, I'll be right back. I don't have any in here.
I think this might be the only thing I have sitting here.
Right,
there's a basilisk. Brian. It's okay. Back there from the Harry Potter game. This was oh gosh, I guess this is the only thing I have sitting here right now. This is from the Harry Potter miniatures game. It's Roy left. Hey guys, this is Dice Tower Chat. Thanks for sticking around. I'm Brian Drake. I'm going to answer all your questions about Roy while he's out of the room for a minute. So yes, yeah, Roy. He did in fact steal all of those Lotus cards and sold them, and has leverage over. Hey, what's up, man? It's good to see you.
I just left because I didn't have any painted miniatures in here. This is one of the last guys I painted. He's a guy from Rune Wars. He's not done.
Oh yeah.
But he's Hawthorne, or Lord Hawthorne. He's part of the Humans faction. I painted him up. I like my basing on him. Oh, the camera that they see is different than the camera you see.
What? Are you kidding me right now? What are we doing? This is like magic.
You get low quality camera.
Yeah, I get this garbage cam, man.
And they have
this is probably going to be hard to see him now, but this is a Dumbledore from the Harry Potter miniatures game. There's some nice fire gradients and things. It's hard to see with this because the lights are behind where I can get the camera.
Carrie Wraithstalker. I have a lot better ones that are like inside boxes.
Yeah.
Most of my like Blood Rage stuff, I put my Blood Rage stuff and my Dragon stuff. I have it all like on a little on little shelves in the office in the studio, just because I like to have my miniatures there. I like to display some of my painted miniatures just because.
Yeah. Well, I just realized I don't own any of mine anymore. Like, sold my Imperial Assault stuff. I did my friend's Blood Rage and some of their Rising Sun, and Batman stuff's up there, but those are all small figures. But
most of my good painted miniatures are at the Dice Tower studio, just because I have my desk. It's so weird. I have my desk. I have a whole bunch of Lord of the Rings painted miniatures. I have some painted dragons I did. I have a whole bunch of like board game miniatures like on shelves, like little. I printed out like little hexes and like put them on the wall. They're little hex shelves that I 3D printed myself, and I just have a whole bunch of miniatures in those. And my desk looks way more blinged out, but I also am the one sitting there staring at the wall and at the computer.
Oh yeah,
for
exactly.
hours. So
you want to enjoy it.
You gotta find some joy in.
I painted a Batman from that DC, not Chronicle, Gotham City Chronicles, but the Night Models game, and it was one of my favorite things I ever painted. Got some nice color and gradation on his capes and all that sort of stuff. It was great. I just love it. I love painting now. It's like you said, it's very cathartic.
Oh, for sure. Awesome. Well, everybody, thanks for coming on or coming and checking us out. Thanks so much, Bryan, for coming on the chat.
Thanks for having me.
I hope everybody's doing well. Make sure to check out some of Bryan's reviews that are coming up, and just go to that Bryan reviews playlist and watch every single one of them. You know,
all of
you can never get enough Bryan Drake.
Even Terraforming Mars, which has 251 thumbs down and only 50 thumbs up. It's an early review, but people still comment on it. Like I posted
Terraforming Mars.
No, I just did a horrible. Like it was shot really bad. It didn't look good, and it got. The first started getting thumb down at first, and that was just a cavalcade. And so
I'm going to make sure to go back and thumbs down it right now. So
people still comment on it like I posted it a week ago. They're like, "You should really do better with your camera." Because like, guys, it's a 4-year-old video.
Dude, when I said we used to do like videos on Twitch and YouTube, my Epic Gaming Night thing or whatever. Like I've gotten like literally like 5 or 6 years later after the video was up, someone will mention a rules mistake we made. I'm like, this video is 6 years old.
I always had to check myself.
Oh man, it's so funny. Awesome, man. Well, thanks everybody for coming out. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks, Bryan. Make sure to check out. We're going to be doing a board game. What is our show called?
Board Game Battle Royale. I was like, what is that?
Our next one is going to be 80s movies. So super stoked about that. There are so many good ones listed. If you want to vote on that, there's still a little bit of time. Make sure to go to the Dice Tower Facebook group and check that out. Also, tomorrow, Tom's going to be doing a solo marathon all day long. So make sure to check that out. He's going to be playing he says he's going to play solo until he drops. He's basically going to play until he
gets the cameras on, honestly, and just starts saying weird things. Like
gets loopy. He's just going to be in the studio by himself for hours. Anyway, hope everybody has a great time, and I'll see everybody next time. Bye.